Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. It's time for the 2023 vinyl tag, which I believe has been put in motion by Rob Walker, who I believe has done a few of the other tags. But this is just a video where, beginning of a new year, and we just kind of reflect on the previous year and do this cool tag, and it's always fun, and let's just kind of jump right into it. So, question number one is your favorite new release of 2022. As far as new releases go, 2022 was not exactly an exciting year for me. Fantastic reissues this year, or last year, I think. But as far as new releases, I was kind of like, But, I could easily have picked Megadeth's release as being my favorite, but I think I'm going to go with this one here, which is Humble Quest by Maren Morris. Kind of a new country artist to me. I wasn't as familiar with her, but I was really pleasantly surprised by this album. I guess kind of describing it really quick, if you are a Taylor Swift fan, you will probably like this album. Just that same type of popish country. In some places, she even kind of sounds like Taylor Swift. Some of those same type of pop melodies and that type of thing. So yeah, definitely check her out. Favorite song off of this, I would say probably the title track, Humble Quest, would be the song I'd recommend checking out. So cool album, cool discovery, but like I said, overall 2022 wasn't all that exciting for me. Let's see, question number two, last band or solo artist you saw live. That would be Pearl Jam. Well, you guys know Concert Buddy, Chance here in the VC. He and his family were just nice enough to invite me to come along with them to see Pearl Jam when they went just a little while ago. So that was a fantastic concert. My first chance seeing them, and it was just really, really awesome. So Pearl Jam would be the last concert that I saw. Question number three, their first album was the best. Again, a lot of different ones you can pick there, but I'm going with EPMD, Strictly Business. And this one I think is kind of significant on this question because, I pretty much like all of EPMD's albums, and they've had a number that they've put out over the years. But Strictly Business is just definitely my absolute jam by them. Probably one of my top 20 favorite hip-hop albums of all time. But everything from the very first track of, Strictly Business all the way through to Jane and You Gots to Chill, You're a Customer, just on and on and on. Everything on this album is just slamming. So, definitely their first is their best. Question number four, Hat Trick, which is basically show an album where you have the vinyl, CD, and cassette. I still collect cassettes. I probably have about 1,100, 1,200 cassettes or somewhere around there. So I have a lot of Hat Tricks in my collection. So what I basically did was just close my eyes and pulled a cassette off of the shelf, and that's what I went with. And so what I ended up grabbing was actually a pretty cool album, which is this right here, Dinosaur Jr. Without a Sound. This is their release from 1994. Again, great album. Has my favorite song by them, which is Feel the Pain. But yeah, one of those many weird covers that they're kind of known for, but really, really cool album there. Okay, next question number five, an album that starts and ends with the same letter. And I was kind of tricky and tried to do it with one word, and I was able to accomplish that. This is the Two Cellos, and the album is Dedicated, which of course starts with a D and ends with a D. So yeah, Two Cellos, just in case you're not familiar with them, it's just what it sounds like, two cellos. They're kind of like, depending on which album, but in general, they're kind of like an apocalyptica type of thing, where they kind of do some of their own stuff, but at the same time, they also do covers of very common songs and things like that. Like on here, you have stuff like, like Living on a Prayer and, by Bon Jovi. And just they do a lot of different things. But I actually saw them in concert about 5 years ago, and it's really cool. It's just like a very big, entertaining. It's only the two of them. There's no band or anything, but they try to perform like they're entertaining, like in a theater, as well as they're kind of halfway a rock band. They're just playing cellos. So really cool show, really cool guys, but Yeah, there you go. That's starting and ending with a D. Question number 6. Someone born the same year as you. Mr. Ray Ray was born the exact same year I was, so that's my answer for that one. Question number 7. Most listened to album in 2022. Kind of a sneaky one because I really could not figure it out, but it's one of these 3. I'm not sure which one I listen to more. It's either Bruce Springsteen's Western Stars, which arguably right now is my favorite, if maybe ever say one of my top 2 favorite Bruce Springsteen albums. Amazing. Or it was Southeastern by Jason Isbell, just a masterpiece right there. Or it was Injustice for All by Metallica, and I'm not sure which one I listen to more, but those are the 3 that I definitely know they outspun everything else in my music world. I mean, I'm talking about streaming and everything else. I listen to those 3 albums more than any other. So then question number 8, most listened to artist, that I could probably narrow down to say it would have been Metallica. Because not only is this right there as my most listened to album, you know, when it came to Hardwired, I really got into listening to that album a lot this past year as well. Like, I could not get enough of listening to Atlas Rise over and over and over again. So I think Metallica was the band that I listened to the most overall. Question number 9, Australian artist and band. Of course, you have, you know, some of the, or one of the giants that we kind of know about. And this is kind of the mini-me of the giant, which is Airborne, which is an Australian band. And I say mini-me because this band is basically the mini-me version of AC/DC. And I've said this over and over, that if you had no idea who Airborne was and somebody just handed you one of their albums and said, these are some lost recordings of AC/DC that never got released or something like that, most people would believe that most Airborne albums are lost recordings of AC/DC, because they make no shame about same vocal delivery, same rhythm section, I mean, same guitar riffing. Just, if you are an AC/DC fan, you must check out Airborne, because you're missing out on more music by your favorite band. Is what's happening. Favorite song by them off of that album is What's Eating You. I recommend checking that one out first, see what you think, but it's AC/DC up and down. Question number 10. Excuse me. A record people would be surprised you purchased in 2022. Although I don't think you guys would be surprised by anything that I purchased, but best thing I could think of was Best of Wayne Newton. You know, I love Wayne. You know, a lot of that stuff, like, you know, Sinatra, Wayne Newton, Bobby Darwin, stuff like that. Anything that that has what I call my Vegas show music. You know, anything where you picture somebody singing and snapping their fingers out to the side, that to me is Vegas show music, and Wayne is right there. So you know, Donka Shane is definitely my favorite song by him, and definitely one I like to get up and get my groove on too. So that's going to be a record people will be surprised I purchased in 2022. Number 11, an artist or band, artist/band you're complete on. I think one cool one would be the Donnas. I have all the studio albums by the Donnas, and you know, very nice, excellent to near mint OG copies of every single one, with the exception of their very first album. That one I have a boot of, so I definitely want to get an original pressing of that sometime soon, but all the others, just some beautiful OG copies, including the sealed copy of Bitchin', which is kind of cool. But yeah, just you know, again, for those who don't know the Donnas, just another awesome all-female group who I guess kind of started off in the punk scene and still were, that's what I'm trying to say, but really their sound kind of morphed into kind of like big guitar distorted rock too, but still some punk elements, but they definitely turned more kind of in your face rock kind of stuff. But a fantastic group. If for some reason you're not familiar with them, definitely go check them out. But that's a group that an artist or band that I've got complete on. Question number 12, a great run of 3 albums. again, a lot to pick there. This might not be the sexiest pick or whatever, but when I think about the music and how big these albums were and how just about any artist would kill to have 3 albums that performed on the level of these 3 albums, it doesn't get much bigger than Lionel Richie. And this is his self-titled release from 1982, which of course had songs like Truly and You Are, which is a gigantic hit. So, he released that in 1982 and then, came right back in 1983 with this monster, Can't Slow Down. This was again in 1983. And this is one of those albums that, most of you that dig have probably seen it all over the place. It's a typical $5, $6, $8 maybe type of album and that type of thing. But I don't care what anybody says. You look at the songs on here, song for song, and this album was a beast and a half. There was a reason why it was battling Michael Jackson's Thriller the way it was on the charts. Because this was just Lionel's masterpiece, and I love this album. All Night Long, Penny Lover, Stuck on You, Running with the Night, Hello. Just hit after hit after hit. And then he follows that up in 1986 with Dancing on the Ceiling. Man, Lionel just killed it in that early to mid 80s, man. Dancing on the Ceiling, Say La, Ballerina Girl, Say You, Say Me. Again, another smash. So say what you want about my boy, but man, that was a triple punch in the gut right there. Just amazing. So that's my great run of 3 albums. Question number 13. Let me scroll down here. 80s soundtrack, and just show one of your favorites. And you guys know I'm always talking about 80s soundtracks, and I'm always showing the Teen Wolf soundtrack. I'm always showing Grease 2 soundtrack, Better Off Dead, Some Kind of Wonderful, Pretty in Pink. On and on and on. So I tried to pick one maybe that I haven't talked about as much for a change, and we'll go with this one here, which is the soundtrack to Spring Break. Another one of those classic 80s movies about teenage boys going on spring break. So, excuse me. So definitely some cool stuff on here. The title track, Spring Break, is done by Cheap Trick, so that's kind of cool. There's a band called Hot Date, which actually was featured in the movie. It's all girls group. They did a cool song on here called Do It To You, which was awesome. They actually performed it in the movie. NRBQ does a song called Me and the Boys. Just another one of those things that made the 80s so great. So that's what I'll show as another 80s soundtrack. Question number 14. We lost them in 2022. As always, especially as we're getting older, so many greats falling to the wayside with Meatloaf, Olivia Newton-John, and on and on. And one more that was on that list, sadly, was Pharoah Sanders. And this is his album Karma from 1969. To me, just his masterpiece. So another sad one, but he left us with some amazing music. Question number 15. Disappointing purchase in 2022. I don't really have anything that I would say is just completely disappointing, because I don't keep anything that I don't really like. Just if I spend something and don't like it, I try to immediately get rid of it. But I think the last thing that I can remember buying that I didn't like, I actually sold it on eBay just about 5 days ago. It sold. Just kind of looking at my eBay here really quick. Beverly Glenn Copeland was an album that I bought, and it was called Keyboard Fantasies. It sounded like it was, when I was reading the hype sticker, it was like a new age, keyboard, blah, blah. It sounded really cool. Sounded almost like an experimental type of thing. And I thought, oh, cover looks cool. Let me give this a try, because it's pretty cheap. I just listened to it once all the way through and thought, some okay things here and there, but I probably can't see myself ever really going back to this album. So I decided to get rid of it. So maybe that was my most disappointing purchase, was that Beverly Glenn Copeland. Question number 16, non-vinyl purchase. And one of a few of my non-vinyl purchases is going to be Elton John. This is the deluxe edition in the slipcase. I really love collecting these things. I got into them about maybe 3 years ago or something like that, and I love collecting these deluxe edition CDs in the slipcases. So if any of you have any of those for trade or anything like that, I mean, I can kind of let you know what I have, or just let me know what you have, because I would love to maybe trade or buy some of these off of if you have them in great condition. But yeah, that's a non-vinyl purchase. 17, you found a grail. My ultimate grail for 2022 has to be this baby right here, which, as you can see, is just a beautiful copy of a Led Zeppelin 2 and RL pressing. Been wanting one of those for quite some time, and finally had a chance to trade my boy Billy Hurst over Riverbend Records. He happened to have 3 of them, I think, and so I was able to trade him one. So I gave up some good stuff, but I definitely got a grail that I wanted for a long time. So that was definitely one of the ultimate, and you can't see it through there, but this is a very, very, very strong VG++ to excellent condition. No creases, no anything, just a beautiful copy. So that was my grail for 2022 for sure. Question number 18, a space theme album, sleeve or song. I thought about a number of songs, but then I figured there's no way I cannot show this album cover. And this is 6 Organs of Admittance. This is a synth. Actually, it's probably one of the first VCLTs that I got years and years ago. A really cool album that was sent to me. But yeah, as you can kind of see there, you have Jupiter off there in the background, and a little guy in a spacesuit down there. So about as spacey as you can get right there. And question number 19, show some VCLT or present. So much VCLT, especially over the years, from so many awesome people. I mean, heck, all of this from here over is all VCLT. So what I did was just went to my VCLT section and just blindly pulled one out, and my finger landed on this one here, which is the Notorious B.I.G. This is Ready to Die, the Vinyl Me Please pressing, which Chance, concert buddy here in the VC, sent over to me. Actually, I shouldn't even say sent over, just walked into the shop one day and was like, hey, I got something for you. And it was like, boom. So just an awesome, beautiful pressing of that. And so appreciate you for giving that to me, man. Like I said, there's just so many awesome pieces of VCLT that I can show you from so many awesome people here in the vinyl community. Question number 20, the last question here. Show an album released in 1973. Talk about a year to pick stuff from. I mean, you got David Bowie, Aladdin Sane, Dark Side of the Moon, $1 Million Babies by Alice Cooper. I mean, that's just so many amazing albums from 73. So I just picked one of the many and went with Burnin' by Bob Marley and the Wailers. Again, this is their release from 1973, and of course you have gigantic stuff on here like Get Up, Stand Up. I mean, yeah, just legendary stuff. So there you go, VC. There's the 2023 vinyl tag, which is always a blast. And as we roll around to 2023, I always do a room tour every single year, even if I haven't had significant changes. It's just something fun that I love to do each year. So keep an eye out for my 2023 room tour coming up pretty soon. But other than that, as always, let me know what you think, and we will talk to you soon. All right, take care, guys.